Hi, my name is Matt Johnson. I want to share with you a new opportunity for ministry and for community change that we're excited to begin here in Morgantown and see spread across the state of West Virginia. One of my roles as associate pastor at Suncrest United Methodist Church has been to oversee the development and to run a Celebrate Recovery program. That process has changed my life. It's allowed me to meet people whose lives are experiencing deep hope and freedom that only God can provide. It's allowed me to hear stories of transformation and change, and it's allowed me to develop a passion for seeing recovery work happen in our community. About a year ago, I met a group of folks who lived in a recovery residence. They came to me and said, Matt, we need a faith-based recovery residence here in Morgantown. We need a place where we can learn spiritual principles that sustain long-term recovery, that helps us connect deeply with God and follow Jesus more clearly, because we know that's where our strength comes from when it comes to the work of recovery. We need a place that's going to offer support and encouragement, connection to a community, so that we can continue to grow in our recovery and do the work that we need to do. I began to pray about this and think about this, and this dream of what a faith-based recovery residence could look like began to take root in my heart in a real way. I began to have conversations with folks in our community. I enlisted the help of a group out of Kentucky called the Fletcher Group. It's a group that's run by the former governor of Kentucky, Ernie Fletcher, that helps folks start recovery residences and develop recovery ecosystems in rural areas across the country. I began to talk to church leaders. I talked to Pastor Mike. I talked to the Bishop of West Virginia here, Sandra Steiner Ball, and share with them this dream of recovery residences that would offer faith-based principles that would help people connect deeply with each other and with communities, that would offer the support and encouragement that people need for new life, job support, parenting classes. Began to dream a big dream. When I first talked to Governor Fletcher, one of the things he said to me was, your dream is not big enough. Dream a bigger dream of what God can do. So I began to do that. And throughout conversations, God opened door after door after door for recovery work to continue to become a priority in my life and in our community. As I've had conversations with different members here at Suncrest and people across our community, there is a deep need for this work. Recovery residences provide a stable, long-term place for people to live 12 to 18 months after leaving a rehab or a detox, where they commit to a drug and alcohol-free lifestyle, and where they learn ways to interact with the world that may have been different than what they've known before. Recovery housing is one of the big needs that we have in the recovery work that needs to happen here in West Virginia. For many people, they can go to a detox or to a rehab, they can do the work, but when they come home, they fall back into the same patterns of behavior and use that caused them trouble to start with. For many people, a lack of safe, affordable housing that is clean and sober and encourages them to be the same is one of the major downfalls that happens in their own personal recovery. This is an incredible need in our community and across our state. We've been working now for the last 6 months throughout this season of pandemic to begin to dream about what it would look like to open a network of recovery residences starting here in Morgantown, but with a much bigger dream, a dream of recovery residences that would span across the state of West Virginia and would help people connect to the resources that are found in the community and connect to God and each other so that they can find a freedom of life. We've had some trainings and we've trained recovery residence managers. You're going to meet them here in a few minutes. Their names are Jody and Josh and Patrick. They'll be our first round of recovery residence managers who will walk alongside new residents as they enter our residences and as they find a new way of living. We've seen incredible opportunities, and we're excited for the work that can continue to happen. I want to introduce you to our recovery residence managers, and I want to introduce you to Karen Coburn, who is the outreach coordinator that I've worked with from the Fletcher Group, so that you can hear a little bit more about this project and then find ways to be involved and to be supportive as we continue to move forward. Thanks for taking a few minutes to watch this video and to learn about this great opportunity for ministry that's unfolding in our community.
I'm Dr. Karen Coburn, and I am an outreach and engagement specialist with Fletcher Group, a rural center of excellence located in London, Kentucky. And my focus is on the state of West Virginia. Fletcher Group came about, it's founded by Governor Ernie Fletcher, former Governor Ernie Fletcher in the state of Kentucky. And Ernie, when he was governor, worked with a gentleman named Don Paul, and the two of them developed Recovery Kentucky centers. This is long-term recovery housing. They spend anywhere from 6 to 18 months in a recovery housing center. They developed these housing projects to work with funds that were already available, state and local funding, and some federal, in order for the facility, when it was complete, to end up with no cost. So they were already working and making money as opposed to having to pay off mortgages and financing. So it's a very intricate balance of using low income tax credits and new market tax credits and lots of funding I don't quite understand. That's for other people in our organization to do. But we take that information and work with agencies and organizations who want to build new housing and try to figure out a way for them to do that as a sustainable model. And so in Kentucky, we now have 18 Recovery Kentucky centers. And when Don Ball, before he passed away, he asked Governor Fletcher to please expand that model, far and wide. So Governor Fletcher is passionate about extending this and expanding this model or similar models across the United States. And with the HRSA grant, we work with 10 different states and 110 counties specifically. And that is growing because, again, we have been asked to assist any state or county that is working in recovery housing that's assisting rural communities. So we have expanded upon the states that we are working in and will continue to do so over the lifetime of the grant. And then we hope that they will extend that grant beyond, but we also plan to continue to work through other funding that we seek. Our services are free, so we go in and help, and that's not something you get too often. But we try to work hand in hand with the organizations that we partner with to make sure that we help reduce barriers and help them find those paths to funding or help in any way we can with what they're working on in the project.
Yeah. So you and I have been talking since March. I think we talked the first week of. I think we talked the first week that the world changed.
Yeah.
I think that was right around there. We've been working together and talking together for a while.
Yes.
Tell me kind of what, as we've talked, as you've kind of heard and have walked alongside of me and others with this project. Tell me, I mean, what are your thoughts about the project that we're working on? Or, kind of give me some reflections and kind of how you think things are going as we're working towards this project.
Well, where the project is today is far different than the first time we talked.
Exactly right.
You have been very blessed with different opportunities coming your way. I think it's going very well. We are doing the recovery housing manager training. I believe we're wrapping that up over the next few weeks, but but this week we'll be talking with, we'll have some guests. So we'll have two ladies who will talk specifically to Jody, but the others can listen. You can listen because it's not secrets, but talking about the difference in running a women's facility versus a men's facility, because there are differences in how they see and view recovery. I mean, we've come a long way. So we have a fairly good, I think, strategic plan that's coming along. We are working on the nonprofit status and making sure you have your ducks in a row for that so that you can seek additional funding. We are targeting different funding sources and hopefully we'll get some contacts, either training for someone to write grants or some contacts to write grants just depending on where we end up with that. But coming from March, when we first talked and said, hey, we got an idea for a 30-bed facility, to developing that chain of houses, for long-term sober living for folks. There's a lot on the plate, and but I think it's all completely accessible to you. You're passionate about it and driven to make it happen, and you have a great team surrounding you. And the people that you're considering or have already selected for your board, they seem like the right people to put in that place. So I really see this coming, true for you, and I do believe you're on track, for the next couple of years to really make an impact.
I'm Jody. I'm a faith believer in Jesus Christ, and I struggle with anxiety and addiction.
My name is Patrick, and I'm a grateful recovering addict alcoholic. My sobriety date is 10/28/2018, and for God, I'm truly grateful.
I'm Josh. I'm an addict. I struggle with cocaine use, crack cocaine, and I had 19 months clean on the 16th. I want to give back to what God has really given me. I am now a helper, a son, a father. 19 months ago, I wasn't any of that. I was a taker. I would rob, steal, kill to get what I needed. And meeting Pastor Matt through Celebrate Recovery and Jody and Patrick bringing me, I've learned to turn to God now for my problems, and I want to help other people.
I've lived 4+ decades of drug use, alcoholism, prisons, jails, treatment centers. My life was no life worth living before I came into the program in December of 2018. I only had the desire to learn a different way to live. I was embarrassed of who I was, what I had become. I didn't have much hope. I was broken. Basically, I was so close to death that I was knocking on death's doorstep. God taught me one day at a time that there's a new way to live without guilt, without shame, that there's forgiveness, and that God gives it to me, freely gives me His love and His forgiveness. I'm sitting here, a part of this team, as an example of what God can do in someone's life who is ravaged with drug and alcohol use. I know there's a lot of people out there that feel like their lives aren't worth living anymore, and I was one of those people. So my passion, my desire is to reach down to the hurting person that doesn't think that there's a way, that people have told them that they're worthless, that people have told them that they're a piece of nothing, and that their lives were going to amount to nothing. That I can reach out with my friends Josh and Jody and Pastor Matt and this recovery group, that Celebrate Recovery Group, and say, listen, there is hope, and you don't have to live that way anymore. Like, I don't have to live that way anymore. And I have a drive and a passion and a motivation to freely share with people what God has taught me in this program. Working the steps, building a spiritual foundation on Jesus, the forgiveness of Jesus, and the love of Jesus.
I'm excited about this because I want to help people, and I want to give women a safe place to live and rebuild their lives again. Well, of course, the prayer and the meditations, the love is remarkable, and that you're not just putting people out on the street and saying, here, go to your meetings, and here's your tools, and this is what you need to do. We're actually walking them through and helping them do the things they need to do. If it's an ID, if it's a social security card, we're going to walk with them and help them and get these things.
It's about caring for the individual. It's about caring for the soul of a human being, that there's hope, that through love and acceptance and patience and tolerance, that we can change one day at a time, creating a family atmosphere, family meals, family prayer, like Josh said. I lost all my family. Josh and Jody and Pastor Matt are my only family today. Like, I still talk to my son and my daughter, but it's not the same. Like, I spend days and hours with them, and they're my family. And so what makes this program unique to any other program that I've been a part of or have knowledge of is that we want to create a family atmosphere where people like us can grow together, have fun and laugh, cry, pray, work through this recovery journey together.
Friends, to say we're excited about the opportunities for ministry with the Abundant Life Recovery Housing Network is probably an understatement. This is such a need in our community, and we're so excited to be a part of the work that God is doing to help people experience new life and hope. Thanks for watching the video. I want to leave you with some ways that you can be involved, because this is not just work that a few people are doing. This is work that's going to take our whole community. We're looking for folks that want, first of all, to partner with us in prayer. We need folks to pray for us and to pray for the right opportunities and the right doors to open. And so if you want to pray for us, we would really appreciate it. We're looking for folks that will partner with us in helping us connect with the right people. Maybe you know somebody that we should talk to who would be interested in this kind of work. Maybe you can help us make some connections in the community. We would appreciate any opportunities to share this work and to share the vision for the housing network as we can. Maybe you know somebody that's renting houses. We're looking for several houses to start to rent and to help people move into and find connection. If you or somebody you know has a house that you're renting, get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from you and to talk with you about those opportunities. We're looking for donations. We're going to furnish 3 houses. So if you've got furniture or household goods or items that are available at your house, call us before you donate them. We're looking for couches and dressers, looking for kitchen items and dishes. And so if you've got things to donate, we would love to be able to pick those up and to partner with you in that. We're looking for folks who want to sponsor a bed. When folks come out of recovery, when they come into recovery, when they come out of a rehab or a detox unit, they're going to need to find a job, and we're going to help them find a job. We're finding ways to do that. We're partnering with local businesses and the state's Jobs for Hope program. But we're going to have about 2 weeks for folks to kind of get settled and make sure that they have what they need and begin to look for a job. And so we're looking for folks that want to help sponsor a bed. So when people come into our house, the costs of living there don't start to add up quickly. If you want to help sponsor a bed, you can reach out to me and I'd be happy to give you that information. We're looking for somebody that wants to donate a vehicle. I know that's a big ask, but we're going to put it out there. We're looking for somebody to donate a vehicle so we can help with transportation needs. If you want to be involved in any of those ways, if you want to offer gifts or you want to be a mentor, we're looking for mentors. We would love to hear from you. You can contact me here at the church office at matt.johnson@suncrestumc.org. Again, that's matt.johnson@suncrestumc.org. You can give me a call. You can find our Facebook page, Abundant Life Recovery Housing Network, on Facebook, and like our page for more information about how to be involved. We're excited and hope you are too. Thanks for your time, and thanks for learning about this new good work.